Hello, it's Vladimir. Today I would like to continue my 100-day commitment. Today is 25th day of my commitment. I talk to the camera every day, 10-15 minutes, trying to practice my grammar, my English, my pronunciation, all sorts of stuff. Today I'd like to continue talking about communication. Yesterday I started talking about 7 elements of communication, which are people, messages, channels, noise, context, feedback, and effect. So yesterday I covered only the first element, which were people, and today I'd like to talk about messages. So messages, basically, there are few basic ideas. First is the content, when we speak to the public, or when we communicate in a small group setting, or when we have an interpersonal communication, we send some messages, and usually these messages conveyed in words, but it's not only the case. The point is that whenever I try to tell something, like right now I'm trying to record the video where I practice my English and I teach you how to do the same. And my goal is to practice English, but also I think it's an interesting opportunity to publish it and to show it to all other people. And my goal here is just to practice, but it's not just, I can say that it's the only goal. There are many different goals, and my message here is, look, I'm speaking English, I'm trying to make it better, I work on my language, and you might do the same. Whatever I say is just my practice. I do it 10-15 minutes a day. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can do the same. Your English will grow. And this is one message, and it's clear, so I articulate it every time. But there are lots of hidden messages. Like, for example, I may try to boost my self-importance. I may try to teach you, not just to teach you, but to tell you, look, I'm so smart, I know so many things, and or I may just try to get your approval. I may speak like, look, I'm so stupid, I can say anything, please, help me, tell me that I am good enough, tell me some silly whatever. There are lots of hidden messages, and in a small group communication, I prefer to think about it from looking at conversations which I handle, which I manage in a group settings, and there's always, there's something which we say, conveyed in words, but our tone of voice, our posture, emotions which we put in our speech, they all convey all sorts of different messages. So it's not just, here's a conversation about women, this is what I think about women. No, it may be like, this is what I think about women, and how I said that. There are all sorts of different hidden messages which even a person who speaks may not understand herself or himself. Messages. Next concept is channels. Channels, obviously, there are 5 channels, like visual channel, verbal channel, touch, smell, taste. So every time when we communicate with people, we share information through all these channels. Like, you may have a conversation with people and somebody, just touches you somehow. It's also conveys certain message. And when we shake our hands, it's also convey certain message. And when you learn to use all these channels to better deliver the information, your idea, whatever you want to deliver, the more effective you are going to be at communication. So channels, again, all sorts of different information. It's not just verbal. So your emotions, your expressions, the sound of your voice, visual channels, so not just audio channels, visual channels, how you present yourself, how you use your arms, how you use your body to help you develop your ideas, your thoughts. Noise. This is the fourth element. Noise means everything. There may be a noisy street, and you may communicate with people on the street, and there might be cars, and they may distract you. It's like kind of physical noise. So everything that distracts you. It also may be, we may sit in the cafe. There is some music. It's also noise. But when it's cold outside and you feel discomfort, it's noise. When you are emotionally uncomfortable, it's also noise. You have to give a talk in front of the strangers. You don't know what to say, or you know what to say, but you're nervous. This nervousness creates noise. And it's important to understand different types of noises and learn how to eliminate them when you have a conversation. The fifth element is context. This is, I record the video. What's the context here? What is the context? I record the video, I talk to the camera, I talk to the whole universe. Potentially there's an audience which are unlimited. Everybody may watch it not just now, but probably in next 100, 1000, 1 billion years. So I communicate to the universe, and I have a certain purpose here. I want to develop my language, and I share with you my knowledge. And basically I share just everything. So I share my emotions, I share my thoughts, and I teach you how to do the same. So I know for me it's one of the most helpful thing if you watch my videos which I recorded 3 years ago, and if you understand a little bit what does it mean to study language, you'll see how far I went from the point where I couldn't say anything, where I used countless fillers all the time, when my language was poor and weak, and to the point where I'm right now, where I can easily explain everything I need to explain. And when I can read like this one, what I'm doing, I read a article about elements of communication. Now I just try to tell you about these elements. I don't use paper. I just thought about it for 30 minutes and for an hour, probably a couple of days, and now I try to retell it. I'm trying to teach you how to use how to improve your communication. I not do it on a kind of professional level where there's special videos. I do it fast because I don't have a lot of time for that. I have 10-15 minutes. I know that this information is important. I learn to deliver this information as I try to do my best, and in the same time I try to improve my language. And this is the context, but there are a variety of different contexts. It may be a conversation with your friend, so it usually doesn't have any purpose. You just hang around and talk about your experience. Maybe a group communication, like I have every week I have speaking club. I need to prepare for the speaking club. I prepare certain questions. We discuss a certain topic, and there's certain purpose to attract people's attention to this topic, to develop this topic, and also to understand it better, and to just to make a great conversation, have fun, whatever. There are lots of different purposes. There may be public speaking. When I discovered a new idea, like I discovered no, it's not a relatively new idea, but anyway, thinking in English, that's an amazing idea, and I'm still trying to develop this idea and convince you, persuade you to think in English if you study it as a foreign language. It's super powerful thing to improve your language abilities. But it doesn't, the problem is it's like long-term project. It's not just for 1 month or few months. You have to think far away in the future. It's like if you're able to shift your brain completely on English and think in English for the rest of your life, that's probably you understand what I'm saying, like what I'm trying to persuade you. And I'm trying to persuade myself as well. So it's not just I'm talking to you and teach you how to think in English. I'm trying to tell to the whole universe that my purpose is study English, and I'm thinking English, and I'm trying to talk about it as much as I can and to make it as clear as possible. So context, different goals, maybe all sorts of conversations. You must understand what's going on, because if you understand what's the context, you understand what you need to say and what you shouldn't say. If it's a casual conversation with your friend, you may talk about all sorts of things. If it's a business meeting, you can't just chat and talk about unrelated things. You must focus your attention on one particular goal, or maybe several particular goals. And if it's a public speaking, you have a certain topic, probably you memorized the whole speech, and you need to deliver the speech to make people believe you and persuade them to do certain actions. The next thing is feedback. Feedback, well, basically it's the reaction. So when I deliver a talk, when I speak to somebody, I just observe how the person or a group of people reacts to what I say. And if they like it, if they share positive feedback, if they reward me for what I'm saying, I'm trying to do more of that. If there's negative feedback, if people are, they shouldn't necessarily tell me that whatever I say is silly, but you may always encounter it by looking at people's faces, at their, whether or not they're engaged in the process when there's a conversation. Like, it's always, you can always see it. And you need this both negative and positive feedback to be able to improve your communication. So if you want to communicate effectively, the point is that you have to learn a lot about distinguishing between positive and negative feedback. And the more important thing is that this negative and positive doesn't mean good or bad. If somebody doesn't like what you say, it doesn't mean that you're an idiot or you're a bad person. It means that in this context, you shouldn't use these, strategies, these tactics. You shouldn't use these words, these phrases, whatever, these ideas. It's not appropriate here. You have to learn. And it's like, by this context, I mean, it's like every time you may think, oh, I am brilliant, I have great ideas, and now everybody must learn about my ideas. And if I talk to my friend, if he or she doesn't listen, it means that she is an idiot, and I am super smart guy, and I still have to continue talking about these ideas with my friend. No, it's like, it's negative feedback. You may understand that different people have different opinions about everything, and you need to understand that if this person doesn't want it, if this person doesn't like to talk about particular things, you should be able to stop it or learn how to do it in a different way. The whole point is negative feedback. You have to stop certain behavior. And behavior, I mean, like communication style, whatever you try to tell. I have just a few minutes to finish. So the last thing is effect. Every time when we have a conversation, it has a certain impact on us. After any conversation, we are different people. If we say something, if we get information, we are changed. We are slightly changed every time. And if it's something important, we may be changed. We may become totally different people. But anyway, the whole idea is that there are three basic concepts here. Like, the first is emotional effect, the second is physical, and the third is cognitive. So emotional, basically, after listening to somebody or after having a conversation, you may become sad, or you may become excited, frustrated, whatever. You may feel happy, or you may feel miserable. And this is an emotional effect. So every communication has a certain impact on your emotional state. And you learn to distinguish again what kind of impacts are there, what kind of emotions you have after a conversation, during a conversation, before a conversation with different people. Physical impact, of course, is kind of, it may be even a fight. So you have a conversation with somebody, you say something silly, and somebody punches you in, stomach, wherever, in your head. This is like physical effect. And cognitive effect, you have a conversation, you learn something, you change your mind, you change your, opinions, your beliefs or you may change somebody else's beliefs. So it's cognitive effect. And like every time when you have an interaction, like even now, I talk to the camera. Every speech changes me. So every time when I speak, there's not so much feedback, but feedback may be external and internal. And I have lots of internal feedback. I mean, I evaluate these speeches myself. I see whether or not I was able to tell what I wanted to tell, whether or not I was able to develop an idea, how I did that, how many mistakes, how fast or slow I was. How did I feel? And most of the time, I learn how to feel better making these videos. This is my goal, and I learn to give more and more positive feedback. And now I feel very confident. Already after 25 days, I feel that I can, like, every time when I do this exercise, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel better. But the problem is I do it a lot. I may think more than necessary, and it's like it's overly exciting. And sometimes I need to even stop it to slow down. Anyway, after have just less than 1 minute. After every conversation with anybody, you may look at the conversation through lenses of these all elements and learn about this conversation, thinking about these elements. Anyway, I need to finish here. Subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friend, like button, all this stuff. Bye bye, see you next time.